Not every construction dispute needs the same forum. Choosing the wrong process can increase cost, delay settlement, and damage working relationships. Imagine a high-stakes construction project suddenly hitting a massive wall of disagreements. Picture the flashing red warning signs everywhere. Millions of dollars are on the line, the clock is ticking, and tempers are flaring. If you pick the wrong path to resolve these issues, the fallout isn't just bad, it's absolutely disastrous. Welcome to our explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're building a definitive guide on how to match a construction dispute to its perfect resolution forum, pulling directly from leading literature on dispute management. To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at our core team on a hypothetical, but let's be real, a very familiar project. We've got Arjun, the project manager, Mira, the contract administrator, and Ravi, the planning engineer. And right now, they are completely overwhelmed by multiple simultaneous site disputes. Section 1, the Construction Conflict Continuum. Right now, the scene in our team's site office is total chaos. The team is clashing with Ms. Kapoor, the client rep, over delayed drawings. At the exact same time, they're locking horns with Mr. Sen, the subcontractor, over unpaid invoices and disputed variation rates. It literally feels like everything is falling apart all at once. There is a very specific continuum at play here. It always starts with a problem, just an unexpected situation slowing things down. But since time is money in construction, a problem threatens profit margins, instantly transforming into a conflict where people have competing goals. If you leave that unchecked, it morphs into a formal claim for time or money. And if that claim gets rejected, bam, it becomes a cancerous dispute. Our team, Arjun, Mira, and Ravi, are standing at a major crossroads. They basically have two diverging paths ahead of them. Path 1, fast early settlement through collaborative problem solving, which saves their profit margins and preserves their working relationships. Path 2, a combative, brutal descent into formal, expensive escalation, like litigation or binding arbitration, where the disease of legal costs just eats up everything. Section 2, the ADR decision map. Enter Dr. Rao, our neutral alternative dispute resolution, or ADR, advisor. Dr. Rao steps into this chaotic site office to help the team take a massive step back, take a breath, and actually triage these conflicts objectively rather than purely running on emotion. Dr. Rao breaks it down for the team. He explains that ADR is absolutely not a one-size-fits-all magic wand. You have to match the process to the specific nature of the dispute, not to how angry the parties are. He categorizes their options into 4 distinct buckets: facilitative, advisory, determinative, and hybrid models. Let's look at how these actually work in practice. Section 3, Facilitative ADR, Preserving Relationships. Let's zoom in on a specific conflict on our site. Arjun and Ms. Kapoor are facing a total communication breakdown. They are at a complete standstill over payment disagreements, and their working relationship is seriously fracturing. This is where facilitative ADR, specifically mediation, comes in to save the day. Think about the core elements of mediation. A neutral third party facilitates negotiations in a consensual, highly private, and informal setting. The mediator doesn't evaluate who is right or impose a decision on them. Instead, they just help Arjun and Ms. Kapoor actually communicate their real concerns, focus on their underlying interests, and ultimately negotiate their own settlement. So when is this the right move? Well, mediation is the absolute perfect tool when our team needs to retain ultimate control over the outcome, ensure strict confidentiality, and, most importantly, salvage their long-term working relationship so they can actually finish the project. It works wonders for payment disagreements and pure communication failures. Section 4, Advisory ADR, Reality Testing. But what if the dispute is strictly commercial and incredibly entrenched? Let's shift the scene entirely. We now have senior executives from both the contractor and the subcontractor sides staring each other down over a highly complex commercial dispute where absolutely no one is backing down. This is the exact scenario where Dr. Rao recommends advisory ADR. This includes processes like a mini trial or a senior executive appraisal. In this forum, advocates present their case in a really condensed way to a panel made up of a neutral third party and senior management from both sides. It's brilliant because it provides a fresh, totally objective business perspective to a messy, difficult legal dispute. Advisory ADR is the perfect fit when Arjun and Mr. Sen have wildly different views on what a case is actually worth. It shines a spotlight on unrealistic claims and gives everyone a much-needed objective reality check before they try to settle. It establishes a firm standard, which makes completely unreasonable positions obvious to everyone in the room. Section 5. Determinative ADR. Specialist Judgment. Cut over to Ravi, the planning engineer. Poor Ravi is practically buried under complex delay charts, structural test records, and a highly technical defect argument regarding strict design compliance. For a problem like Ravi's, Dr. Rao points straight to Determinative ADR, specifically expert determination or early neutral evaluation. In this setup, a neutral expert takes a deep, inquisitorial approach to assess the raw technical facts and then produces a decision on how the dispute should be resolved. While it's often non-binding, it gives the parties a crystal-clear standard based entirely on specialist knowledge. It's super important to see the difference here. You have the broad, 30,000-foot commercial reality check of advisory ADR, where senior execs are looking at the big-picture risk, compared to the microscopic, deeply technical focus of determinative ADR, where a true industry expert gets right down into the weeds of measurement issues or technical defects. The crucial takeaway is that expert determination is strictly for single-issue technical problems or narrow valuation questions. Dr. Rao gives the team a massive warning here. Do not use this for resolving complex, multi-issue relationship breakdowns. It demands way more from the process than it's actually equipped to handle. Section 6, Hybrid ADR, Settlement, and Finality. Finally, Dr. Rao addresses the highest stakes scenario on their board, a massive, incredibly urgent extension of time claim that threatens to completely derail the entire project schedule if it isn't resolved absolutely and immediately. For something this massive, we look to hybrid ADR. This is where we merge the consensual nature of mediation with the binding, unquestionable finality of arbitration to create models like Med-Arb and Arb-Med. You get all the flexibility of a negotiation, but with guaranteed, rock-solid closure at the end. Let's look at the Arb-Med progression, because it's genuinely fascinating. You actually conduct the full arbitration phase first. The arbitrator writes out their binding award, but they seal it in an envelope. Then you mediate. The looming presence of that sealed envelope sitting right there on the table is a massive motivator. Parties are highly incentivized to settle during mediation, knowing the risk of totally losing is sealed right in front of them. These hybrid models are the robust, two-tiered heavy hitters required when the team needs both negotiation space and a guaranteed path to closure. They are purpose-built for those high-value, urgent disputes where leaving things unresolved is simply not an option for the business. Section 7, Choosing the Right Forum and Common Mistakes. Now let's bring the whole team back together with Dr. Rao. They're reviewing their completed triage board and finalizing their game plan. They've systematically taken all that initial chaos and broken it down into manageable, correctly routed processes. And that gives us this definitive matching guide. Got a relationship problem? Route it straight to mediation. Weak claim confidence? Go for an advisory review. A highly technical issue dragging you down? Expert determination. An urgent, high-value dispute needing absolute finality? Fire up a hybrid process. By doing exactly this, our hypothetical team has successfully routed each specific conflict to its correct, most effective forum. But before he goes, Dr. Rao leaves them with a few critical warning alerts. The most common mistakes in the industry include jumping to litigation way too early, trying to use mediation to solve a purely technical defect, or forcing expert determination onto a relationship conflict. Misdiagnosing the dispute distorts the entire resolution process, destroys trust, and inflates costs tremendously. Which brings us to our final overarching lesson. The best dispute process is never just the most aggressive one. It's the one that perfectly fits this specific dispute sitting on your desk. Diagnose the dispute, match the forum, preserve your project's value, and resolve it early. So the next time your project hits a wall, will you let the conflict control you, or will you choose the exact path that preserves your project's value? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope you are now fully equipped to triage your own projects.